Hey there guys, welcome back to Course Integrity. This video is the second part of UI designing in Andorid Studio, in which we are going to recreate the Adobe XD design for gaming gear shop in Andorid Studio. Before that, I hope you have already seen our first part of this video. If not, then I have already mentioned the link down below in the description box. Also, you can just go to our channel and check it out. Now, let's get started with today's video. So in last video we have created these XML designs for different controllers like this, and also we have created the dashboard in which we have added the recycler view. So in today's video we are going to add the items inside our recycler view, for which we have already created the custom layout. So this is the custom layout which we have created earlier. So this is the default layout using which we are going to add the 3 items inside our recycler view. So to add the items inside our recycler view, we are going to add the code into our Kotlin file, which is me.aktdev. Before actually starting with our Kotlin file, first we need to go to the build Gradle, and there we need to add these 3 libraries inside the dependencies. So these 2 libraries are for recycler view, and then this is the groupie library. After adding these 3 libraries, so we will start adding the code inside our Kotlin file. So in Kotlin file we are going to add the recycler view and the adapter, using which we are going to display the items we want to display. So let's first initialize the adapter, which will be the group adapter with the view holder. And now let's initialize our recycler view. Now let's set up our recycler view. So to set up our recycler view, first we need to assign the ID to our recycler view, which we have created in XML file. So this is the recycler view of our XML file, and I have already set the ID to our recycler view, which is IRV. So to set up our recycler view, we are going to call our recycler view by using find by view ID. So recycler view, and let's add the ID of our recycler view. Set up recycler view. Now let's create the function for our recycler view, in which we are going to add the number of items we are going to add inside our recycler view, for which we will be adding the for loop. Inside this we will be adding the 3 items. So the items will be 0 to 2, which will be the 3 items. And inside this for loop we are going to add the inner class inside our adapter. Adapter dot add inner class. Here let's set up our recycler view inside the adapter. Okay. Now let's add the inner class, in which we are going to add the items inside our view holder, and we will be adding the custom layout which we have created earlier. So we will return that custom layout to add the items inside our view holder. So let's add the inner class, in which we are going to add the items inside the view holder, and inside this inner class get layout function, turn the custom layout which we have created layout, which is the custom layout. Now let's add the bind function, in which we are going to set the image and text, which will be the title for the item we are going to create. So let's add the bind function. So here we will be adding the if loop. So when the position is equal to 0, in view holder we are going to add the item view. For ID IV which is the ID of our image view we have created in custom layout. As you can see, for this image we have created the ID is IV. So in view holder we are going to add the item view with ID IV, in which we are going to set the image resource as it is the image, and here we will give the path of the image we will be adding inside our view holder. So let's add the image from the drawable, which is image1. Similarly, as you can see in custom layout, this title will be the same for all 3 items, and this color version will be different for different controllers. So we are going to add this text view for different controllers, for which I have given the ID is TV. So let's again take the view holder, in which we are going to display the item view with ID TV, where we are going to set the text from string, which is controller1. So if you remember, we have added 3 strings inside our string.xml file. So from values, if we go to the strings.xml file, as you can see here, we have added 3 strings for 3 controllers, which are the color version for our different controllers. So we are going to add these strings inside our view holder. Similarly, for position 1, we will copy this code and let's paste it over here. So if the position is 1, then item view image resource will be image2, and the string will be controller2. And similarly, for position 2, which is the 3rd position, image will be image3, and we will set the text, which is controller3. Now, after adding the items inside our recycler view, as you can see in Adobe XD, if I click on this image, which we have added in our recycler view, so if I click on this image, I want to display this frame which we have created in Adobe XD. Similarly, in Andorid Studio, if I click on this first image we have added inside our recycler view, I want to display our controller1 activity. For that, we are going to add the navigate function, and we are going to set the on-click listener to these images we have added inside the recycler view. So inside the view holder, for the item view, we are going to set the on-click listener. So inside this on-click listener, when the position is 0, then it will navigate us to the other activity from the view holder, item view with ID IV, and we will add the string, which is the first. So afterwards, we are going to add the navigate function, in which we will be assigning the activities to the string which we have added over here. So similarly, when the position is 1, it will navigate us to the view holder with item view IV, and the string will be second. Similarly, for second position. Now let's add the navigate function. And now inside this function, when the string is first, it will take us to the activity controller1. Similarly, when the string is second, then the activity will be controller2, else it will take us to the controller3 activity. Now we are done with our recycler view. Now if we go to the Adobe XD file, and if we run the output of this XD file, So as you can see, if I click here, it changes the frame by creating the cool looking animation. Like if I click here, as you can see, it creates the animation like fade in and fade out, just like this. So similar to this, we are going to add the animations to our Android Studio project as well. So for that, inside the resources, we need to add the anim folder, and inside that anim folder, we need to add the different XML files for animations. So I have already added the anim folder inside the resources, and inside this anim directory, I have added the 4 animations. So this is the fade in animation, then similarly for fade out, then the slide right animation, and the slide right enter animation. So I have added these 4 types of animation XML file inside the anim directory I have created. And now we will be adding that animation inside our Kotlin file. So if we go to the XML file for our first page, so as you can see in this recycler view, we have added 3 items. So if I click on any of that item, it will display the another controller design we have created. So while going to next activity, I want to create the animation to this button, so which is the home button. So if I click anywhere, I want this home button to slide right side by creating the animation. So let's go to the main.activity Kotlin file and let's add the animation over here. So we will set the animation to image view. So say iv dot, which is the ID for our image view. Set onClick listener, as we are going to create the animation when the onClick listener happens. So inside this animation, let's create the animation, and inside this, let's add the path for the XML file of our animation we have created. And as we are going to add the slide right animation for our image view, so the animation will be slide right, and the ID for our image view is image view 11. So image view 11 dot start animation, and let's create the intent and add the bundle. So we will be adding the 2 more animation, which will be the fade in and fade out. And let's say dot to bundle start activity, and say int and bundle. Now similarly for other controller activities we have created. So for this activity as well, I have already added the Kotlin code. So in controller 1, I have added the animation to the image 16. As you can see over here, I have set the onClick listener to the image 16, and I have added the fade out animation from the anim folder. This parent is nothing but the ID for the constraint layout which we have created in the XML file. As you can see, for each XML file, for this constraint layout, I have set the ID to this constraint layout. And also after that, I have set the onClick listener to other images. So as you can see in controller 1, if I click on this image, which is the second controller, then I want to go to the controller 2 activity. Similarly, if I click on this controller 3, I want to go to the controller 3 activity. And here we have also added the back button. So if I click on this back button, we will be going to the main activity. So I have already set the ID to all of these images. As you can see, ID for this first controller image is C1, then for second controller is C2, and for the third controller ID is C3, as well as for this back button I have set the ID B1. So in controller 1, if I click on the C2 image, which is this second image, then I want to go to the second controller. So I have added the intent to go to the another activity, and I have added the second controller here. And also while going to this second controller 2 activity, we will be creating the animation fade in and fade out. Similarly for image C3, we will be going to controller 3 by creating the animation fade in and fade out. And then for back button with ID B1, we will be going to the main activity with creating the animation fade in and fade out. Similar to this, we have also added the code for controller 2. So as you can see here again I have added the animation to image 16. So if you see, image 16 is this image for which we have created the animation in every controller design we have created. So we have added the fade out animation for that image. Then for C1, we will be going to the controller 1 by creating the fade in and fade out animation. And similarly, if I click on this C3 button, it will take me to the controller 3 and fade in and fade out animation. And similarly for back button again. Similarly for controller 3, I have created the same type of animation for the buttons and images we have added. So yeah, we are all done with our designing, and also we have added the items inside our recycler view, and also we have added the animation. So now let's see how our output looks like. So here is the output of our design we have created, and these are the items which we have added inside our recycler view. So if I click on this controller image, as you can see, it go to the next frame by creating the cool looking animation we have added. So let's go back and let's see it again. So we have set the animation to this image view, which is the home button. So whenever we are going to click on any controller or any object, this button is going to create the slide right animation. So likewise, if I click on this controller, as you have seen, the home button creates the slide right animation. Then similarly, if I click on these other controller designs we have created, it creates the fade in and fade out animation likewise. And yeah, we are all done with our designing for gaming gear shop application. And also we have added the items inside our recycler view, and also we have created the beautiful animation for our design. I hope you have liked our video. Thanks for watching.